It's been very serious with you. Nothing but joy, happiness, peace of mind, contentment. Because
Rahman Ali, the younger brother of the world-famous boxer Muhammad Ali, passed away at 82, leaving behind a life full of quiet strength, kindness, and a deep love for his community. The Muhammad Ali Center shared the sad news, and it's clear that Rahman was so much more than just a famous sibling. He was a man who touched lives in his own special way, always there to help, always ready with a smile. Born on July 18, 1943, as Rudolph Rudy Clay, Rahman grew up in Louisville, Kentucky, right alongside his big brother, who'd one day become a boxing icon. When they both converted to Islam, he changed his name to Rahman Ali, a choice that showed how closely their paths were tied. He died on August 1st, after spending his final days in hospice care at Norton Audubon Hospital. His family says he first went to the hospital on July 19th, and even then his heart stayed with the people he loved and served. This video is all about celebrating Rahman Ali, who he was, what he did, and why he mattered. From his days in the boxing ring to his endless work feeding the hungry in Louisville, Rahman's story is one of family, faith, and giving back. Let's dive into the life of a man people called a quiet thunder, someone who didn't need the spotlight to shine. Rahman Ali wasn't the type to chase fame. Instead, he poured his energy into the Jesus movement at the King Solomon Missionary Baptist Church in Louisville's California neighborhood. Wanda McIntyre, who runs the Jesus movement, knew Rahman well and loved how he showed up for everything. "Whenever we do an event, they are always there," she said, talking about Rahman and his wife. "We have a food and clothes closet, and he made sure that the participants had enough food to go out the door. He and his wife would always be the last ones to leave." That's who Rahman was, a guy who stuck around until the job was done. Whether it was a prayer breakfast or a big community meal, he didn't just drop by and leave. He made sure everyone had what they needed, from a warm plate of food to a kind word. Wanda said it best: "We already miss the presence when we have our prayer breakfast." His absence is felt because he was such a big part of what made those moments special. Ray Barker, a local known as Sir Friendly C, had his own way of describing Rahman. "He was like a quiet thunder," Ray said. "Some of us like to be out in front, some of us like to be quietly behind, and he was that latter one. He always showed up to lend his hand and lend his famous name to encourage the youth." That nickname, Quiet Thunder, fits Rahman perfectly. He didn't shout about what he did, but you could feel his impact all the same. Rahman and his family didn't just help out once in a while. They were a constant part of the church's mission, feeding people, clothing them, lifting them up. It was all in a day's work for him. Even when he got sick, he kept that spirit alive, showing everyone what it means to care deeply. Rahman Ali didn't just cheer for his brother from the sidelines. He stepped into the boxing ring himself. Starting in 1964, he kicked off his own professional career, fighting for 8 years until 1972. He won 14 of his 18 fights, knocked out 7 opponents, and only got knocked out once. That's a pretty solid record for anyone, but especially for someone sharing the spotlight with Muhammad Ali. His first pro fight happened on a big night, the same night Muhammad won his first heavyweight title against Sonny Liston. It was like the brothers were saying, "We're in this together." Rahman didn't reach the same heights as Muhammad, but he had his own grit and style. He trained hard, fought tough, and made a name for himself in the ring. But boxing wasn't always easy for Rahman. After a couple of tough losses, including one to Jack O'Halloran, he decided to hang up his gloves. Still, he never really left the sport behind. He stuck close to Muhammad, training with him and being there for some of the biggest fights of his brother's career. Gene Kilroy, who used to manage Muhammad's business, once called Rahman the best sparring partner. That says a lot. He wasn't just a brother, he was a teammate. Even after retiring, Rahman used boxing to connect with people. He'd talk to kids in Louisville, sharing stories and pushing them to chase their dreams. His famous last name opened doors, but it was his heart that kept them connected with the youth. Boxing was part of his story, but it was what he did outside the ring that really defined him. If you ask anyone who knew them, Rahman and Muhammad Ali were more than brothers, they were best friends. Growing up just 18 months apart, they were thick as thieves. Hannah Ali, Muhammad's daughter and Rahman's niece, put it beautifully on Instagram. Even as children, their bond was extraordinary. My uncle Rahman, lovingly known as Rock, was a sweet, gentle soul with a heart as big as the world. He had that same sparkle in his eye that my father had, that same light, that same mischief, that same love. That sparkle, it was real. Rahman was there for Muhammad through everything, the wins, the losses, the tough times. Devone Holt, the head of the Muhammad Ali Center, said it straight. You can't tell Muhammad's story without mentioning Rahman. He was one of the most constant sources of support for Muhammad during his career, and their relationship was a true example of what it means to be my brother's keeper. They shared more than just boxing. When Muhammad became a Muslim and changed his name from Cassius Clay, Rahman did the same, becoming Rahaman Ali. It was a big moment for both of them, showing how their faith tied them even closer. They leaned on each other, laughed together, and faced the world side by side. Even after Muhammad passed away in 2016, Rahman kept his brother's memory alive. He'd show up at the Muhammad Ali Center, talk to people, and make sure the Ali name meant something good. That bond wasn't just for them. It was a gift they shared with everyone who knew them. Rahman Ali wasn't loud or flashy, but he had a way of making people feel seen. Lorenzo Tucker III, whose mum was one of Rahman's closest friends, said the Ali family was like family to them. My mother was his best friend, so as soon as they put him into hospice, he called for her to come down, Lorenzo shared. We speak to them every day because that's how close-knit everyone is. That closeness wasn't just with Lorenzo's family, it was how Rahman lived. He built connections everywhere he went. Wanda McIntyre couldn't say enough about his encouragement. He was a great encourager like his brother was, she said. His smile, his uplifting the people was great, and the support that he gave Jesus movement, he and his wife, meant so much to us. Rahman had a knack for making people feel good. He'd tell the young guys in the neighborhood, everything is good, everything is positive, and it's all what he said it would be. Those words stuck with them, giving them hope when things got rough. He didn't need a big stage to make a difference, just a warm heart and a few kind words. In his last weeks, Rahman stayed true to who he was. Even in hospice, surrounded by family and friends, his thoughts were with the community he loved. He'd spent his life giving, and that didn't stop, even at the end. When Rahman Ali passed, Louisville felt it. The tributes started pouring in from everyone, family, friends, people he'd helped along the way. Hannah Ali's post hit hard. He had that same sparkle in his eye that my father had. That same light, that same mischief, that same love. It's the kind of thing that makes you smile through the tears. Ray Barker's Quiet Thunder line keeps coming up because it's so true. Rahman didn't need to be the loudest guy in the room. His actions spoke for him. He showed up, he helped out, he cared. And now that he's gone, there's a big hole where he used to be. The folks at the Muhammad Ali Center, the church and the neighborhood all agree. Rahman's impact won't fade. He wasn't just Muhammad's brother, he was a friend to so many, a guy who made life better just by being himself. People are sad, sure, but they're also thankful for everything he gave them. Rahman Ali's life was all about the little things that add up to something huge. He didn't chase glory or headlines. He fed people, encouraged kids, and stood by his brother through thick and thin. Born in 1943, he grew up in a tough world, but he made it softer for others with his kindness. His work with the Jesus movement wasn't just a side gig, it was his heart on display. He made sure nobody left hungry, and he did it with a smile. His boxing days showed he could fight, but his real strength was in how he lifted people up. And that bond with Muhammad, it was the kind of love that doesn't come around often. Rahman's legacy isn't about trophies or big speeches, it's about the lives he touched, the hope he spread, the quiet way he made a difference. Wanda McIntyre summed it up. His encouragement, his smile, his uplifting the people was great. That's the Rahman Ali we'll remember, a man with a heart as big as the world, who showed us all what it means to care. So here's to Rahman Ali, the quiet thunder of Louisville. He's gone now, but what he left behind, that's forever.